Howdy doody out there in YouTube land. Y'all should just park your pickup trucks and get them kids off the four-wheelers. Tell them to bring you an ice cold one and join us right now for a little Ready, Set, Drone fun, cause it's First Friday and everybody's here to have a good time. I see we got a great group of good old boys in the chat tonight. I see Skeeter, Tater, Possum, Billy, Bobby, Ken, and my brother Brad from Virginia. All in the chat and ready to help us get this party started. Welcome all y'all. Hey, and welcome to our lady friend too. I know there's probably only one, but thanks for being here. It is First Friday and it's time to get started, so let me introduce your host, the man with the plan, the guy who can fly, the dude who's rarely rude, Kelly Shores. Yeah! Hey, everybody. Welcome to First Friday. Man, first of all, the chat is on fire. So many of my friends out there. Mike Miller, I see you there. Doc Murdoch, first one in actually this evening. Joe Blaylock, my man, Joe Blaylock. By the way, if you guys haven't seen Joe Blaylock's video on, I think it was on YouTube Shorts with 9 cats in a box, it is actually pretty funny. Maddie from Maddie's Drone World, my brother Brad from Virginia, Leonard's out there, Ray Kelly, Ben Cartwright, Chris Hope, of course. Let's see, Flying Flynn Media, Geeks Fana. I think I see Russ from 51 Drones out there. Whoa, big time. Hey, oh yeah, he's the guest tonight. Ha! Awesome. We're going to have Russ on in just a little bit. Let me see who else I can give a shout out to real quick before we get on with the show. We've got the grumpy vlogger, my man Lloyd. Lloyd, I hope you've been staying warm. It's been really cold in Texas, which I know means it's probably even colder a little further north up in Oklahoma. Dynadrone, by the way, Dynadrone says hello to Russ directly from Dynadrone to Russ. Thank you for the super chat, Dynadrone, and thank you for joining us tonight. Artco Drone Solutions in the house. One Vision Aerial, Johnny Drone Flyer. Man, this place is lit up tonight. Like I said, really appreciate it. Geeks Fana. For everyone who doesn't know, I am actually going to be going to England and hoping to hang out with Sean from Geeks Fana in England. Or he's coming here and staying at Chris Hope's house. It's one or the other. I forgot. But let me tell you guys something really important that I learned this past week. We've had a big ice storm here, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But the thing I learned has nothing to do with the ice storm, actually. It has to do with talking into a microphone. So on Thursday Night Live a couple of weeks ago, I was co-host, and Ken Heron chastised me for eating the mic. He said, "You're eating the mic." And I was like, really? I thought the closer you got, the better. And I was told, well, if you're going for like a NPR or PBS kind of vibe, you're trying to be all, go ahead and donate to our channel so we can stay on the air kind of thing, which, by the way, not a bad advice. But if that's what you're going for, you get close. But Chris, SunriseWaterMedia, coming with the knowledge, 2 fists. That's what you want to be, not like this, but that distance. And part of the reason is as you move around, it's not as noticeable. But when you're up real close and then you move, see how noticeable that was? So, man, if you guys want to know anything about anything, SunriseWaterMedia is your guy. But no, he's my guy, so he's staying here. Get in line behind me for knowledge from SunriseWaterMedia. Oh, Michael Wright, Jerry Bauer, didn't mean to forget you guys, just lots happening. Jackson RC Aviation. I think I said Mike Miller earlier. Ben Cartwright in the house. Once again, I'll give another shout out to Lloyd because he's one of my favorites out there, and Chris Hope and Andrew Silver Fox. Anyway, going to have a great show tonight. We're going to be talking a little bit about an ice storm in Texas. We're going to be talking to, of course, Russ from 51 Drones about all kinds of stuff. We'll be talking a little bit about Part 107. About Remote ID, the Avada. We're going to be looking at the hidden hashtags. So for those of you that don't know, as of late, Chris once again had this great idea to put hidden hashtags in the videos that we put out. And if you find the hashtag, it's usually like a couple of frames within the video. If you find it and you put it in the comments, we put you in a drawing to win a prize. My brother Brad from Virginia and Chris Hope have been killing it in that regard. Anybody else you've seen killing it, Chris? Chris Wedgeworth has been killing it. I mean, some people have gotten a few of them, but Chris Hope and Brad have gotten a whole bunch of them. So thank you guys. And actually, funny thing, I forgot to put a hidden hashtag in a video a few weeks ago, and Brad said, "Man, where was the hidden hashtag? I was back and forth looking for that thing, and I never did. So sorry, Brad. That's on me." Hey, thank you, Grumpy Vlogger. I actually need help with that because my house has not had power since Tuesday night. It went out early Wednesday morning. Our power went out. It's Friday. It's still out at my house. I don't smell very good. I can smell myself, and when it gets to that point, that's normally a time for a shower, but I'm not into cold water as much as I probably should be, so I'm just sitting here doing my thing. They did say there was a crew coming to work on our neighborhood today, so hopefully by the time I get home, it'll be done. A couple more reasons to stick around. We're going to do 2 Minutes of Hope. Chris Hope has a pretty cool video for us, as he usually does every month. We are going to actually watch a video from a subscriber. Carolina Airshots had a really cool video that Chris pointed out, and he shared that with us and is going to let us play it. So I'm excited to play that. And we're going to have the Subscriber of the Month announcement for February. Shout out to Brent, Eat More Possum, who was the January Subscriber of the Month. And also shout out real quick to Artco Drone Solutions, another $5 super chat for blankets to keep warm. I think between Grumpy Vlogger and Artco and Dynadrone and I think everybody else who super chatted tonight, I should be able to afford to at least buy some firewood or something. But speaking of cold weather, there's a man who lives in the other side of the country, still Central Time Zone, but where we're down here pretty close to touching Mexico, he's pretty close to touching Canada up there. And if you don't know who he is, you really should, because he does great videos about drones. He's one of the OG drone channels. It is Russ from 51 Drones. Give it up for Russ. Hey.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, man. How are you?
I'm trying to fist my microphone.
Yeah, two fists distance. That's what Chris says.
How does this sound? Does this sound okay?
Sounds like PBS. You can start asking for we'll give us a tote bag. Do you have a 51 Drones tote bag?
I don't actually, but I do have
you have a cool hat.
I don't think I have it on there anymore, but I had underwear on my on my Teespring account.
now didn't Geeks Fauna do your logo? Was it who?
No. I actually
who did your logo?
His name is Mamba Design.
Okay.
And if anyone needs a logo, boy, he is really good. I actually found him on another website that he was a part of, and then I hired him individually on my own to design my logo. And really, he's just, I don't know how many times he revised it to where I was happy with it, but yeah, I love it.
Are you that guy?
He's done.
Are you that guy who requires 42 revisions?
Not quite that many, but I think we did 4 or 5 different revisions.
Yeah.
And,
what's your logo, man?
And
it's got to be good, right?
Yeah, thank you. And so there's a couple other drone channels that have used him. I think Air Photography used him.
Nice.
I think Tech Drone Media used him.
Nice. Henrik.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure he did. I'm not sure, but I know there's at least a couple more drone channels. But yeah, he does a good job.
Yeah, that's kind of a niche to get into, right? I'm a graphic designer for drone channels. There's
right?
a lot of them out there. So you used to have kind of a pretty different logo before you announced this one, right? How long did you go? Like, how many years were you YouTubing before you got a pro logo done or a secondary logo done?
I want to say it was almost 2 years. I think I did 2 years with that other logo, and I got that one off Fiverr. Actually, I think
nice.
I paid $35 for that logo.
Yeah, it's always funny because it's called Fiverr, but it's never $5, right? It's like
no, never $5.
I think I've spent over $100 on Fiverr before, actually, but the ironically named. Well, so
and it was good. I mean, it worked. People people still want that original hat, but I don't have anymore. So
oh man, you could do a limited run. You could
I
do
could
a limited run. I fortunately had a friend who did my Ready Set Drone logo, and I remember I probably had about 42 revisions or more. And I was really, really happy with how it turned out. I mean, it's like still one of my favorite things he ever did. And then I used to have this little show bumper, like at the beginning, and it was kind of this dur, dur, dur sound. I don't know if you remember it, but it sounded like a very, like Darth Vader ominous kind of thing. And I remember people would always comment that they were kind of scared when they saw it. Like, I didn't know what to expect. But here's a funny thing I want to ask you about. Have you ever heard this rumor, or not even a rumor, just kind of a thing that has happened online on YouTube before? I've had many people tell me that you and I look alike, get us confused. No. That's never happened to you?
I've never had that. No.
No, I've had people say, "Oh, you look like Russ from 51 Drones," and I even had somebody comment. Yeah, can you do the split screen or something? I even had somebody comment. Here, we're both wearing hats. Let's try to sit in the same pose here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. There you go. I've even had somebody comment in my comments and said, "No, Russ, I think you're wrong, blah, 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 blah." And I'm like, dude, you got the wrong channel, or you're just copying and pasting or something. Cause,
that's probably it right there. Yeah. You got to get the rosy cheeks. You don't have the rosy cheeks like I do.
A little of that. Well, okay. Another little question for you. Favorite, do you ever drink soda? I don't drink that much soda, but when I do, it's usually Dr. Pepper. What's your favorite soda of choice? Oh, what do you got? Is that a
Diet Coke?
Diet Coke. All right.
Yeah, and I don't drink much of it, but mostly I use it for a mixer. But
yep.
But yeah, I like a Diet Coke once in a while.
Yeah, it's kind of good on a Friday night. I mean, if you're not drinking beer, it's a good start. Do you have a favorite? You said mixer. So like, what's your favorite thing to put in the Diet Coke?
Bourbon. I drink bourbon.
Okay. And have you ever been to Kentucky and done any of the tours?
No, I haven't.
Dude, no. I went 2 years ago.
Thought about it.
Buffalo Trace tour was amazing. I learned so much about how it's made, learned a lot about prohibition, learned about and by the way, Joe Blaylock, thank you for the super chat. He said he said this goes to someone that he thought was Kelly Shores. So could be Russ. If you ever get to go to Louisville and do the bourbon tour, it's pretty awesome.
Huh. Yeah, we're actually considering going to see the Ark encounter.
Oh yeah. I've heard of that.
That's in Kentucky. Isn't it in Kentucky? Yeah, it is in Kentucky.
Somewhere in the South. Yeah. I mean, probably driving distance from Kentucky if it's not. It's like a full scale version of the
Ark,
Noah's Ark.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
I saw this T-shirt. So I actually have an employee named Noah, and I saw this T-shirt. I thought it was pretty funny. It has a picture of an ark on it and says, "Need an ark? I know a guy."
Nice.
I thought that was pretty funny. All right.
Perfect.
Well, if you do end up going, I happened to go there 2 years ago. Some friends invited me. We went to the, like I said, Buffalo Trace. That was my favorite one. Four Roses. Have you ever had Four Roses?
Oh yeah. I have a bottle of that right now, actually.
Oh yeah. Okay. We went to the Four Roses. It wasn't bad, and we went to one that was like, it was one of the bigger ones. I don't think it was Jack Daniel's, but Jack Daniel's is whiskey, right? It's not actually bourbon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And I did learn that all bourbon is whiskey, but not all whiskey is bourbon.
Oh.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
There's a lot when you peel back the onions, and then you take your drone, right, and you get some cool shots of the Kentucky bluegrass and all that stuff. I totally vote for you going there. If you go, let me know, man. I might go again because I had so much fun. So you have been, of course, your channel's been kind of killing it, and we were talking a little bit earlier about that. You said sometimes you get a little controversial, or you get people who are a little tweaked about drones flying over their property and stuff like that. How do you kind of keep a level head when you're getting a lot of, kind of angry people in the chat and in the comments?
It really depends on the day. There's some days where I just ignore all of it, and you have to do that just because, everyone's got their opinions and different perspectives, and they come from different backgrounds. And so their understanding of things are maybe not the same that we understand things. So I try to give everyone the benefit of the doubt, but sometimes there's just there's one or two people that just need to be put in their place, but
Yeah.
I know it doesn't do any good. It's
Ken
a
Dono,
waste
we're
of
talking to you,
energy.
buddy.
Yeah, that's right. I know it's a waste of energy, but
I'm kidding, Ken.
sometimes you just can't let it go. You got to get it out yourself. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
whenever you post,
especially if it's something that is like patently wrong, and you're just like,
yeah,
what are you
and
even
you're
talking
trying to
about?
educate. I try to educate with those videos, but at the same time, uh, some of those things that get people fired up, and so it's fun to get the discussion going in the comments, and then watch the other people fight amongst each other.
True,
But
true. Well, and
but
it's also kind of
yeah,
cool. It's also kind of cool when like you have somebody say something less than complimentary to you or about you or whatever, and then the people that watch your channel kind of jump in and stick
yeah,
up for you. I love when that happens. It's like,
yeah, that happens.
yeah,
That's pretty
it's
fun.
like,
Yeah.
hey, you don't know what you're talking about, dude. Before you start throwing that out there. But so when you're not watching 51 drones or Ready Set Drone, I know those are your two tops. What other who are some other YouTubers you enjoy watching? Maybe even non-drone related. Like do you have any that like I love watching Marquez Brownlee. He's always got great stuff.
Yeah.
Tech stuff.
Yeah, all the tech guys I watch. I watch a lot of like guys that give you tips for growing your channel. I still watch those,
Yeah.
like Sean Cannell or is
Yeah.
that how you say his last name?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. He's a little salesy for me. Like he's
Think
a little
Media. Yeah,
yeah.
he is. But
do you ever watch Nate,
oops.
the guy that says howdy howdy?
No,
Oh,
who's that?
do you know the name of that channel, Chris? He's it's a grow your channel kind of thing, but his
Okay.
kind of catchphrase is howdy howdy, and
okay.
he's not salesy at all. I actually really like
Okay.
that channel for growth. But
Nick
yes.
Nimmin is another one. I watch Nick Nimmin quite a bit.
Oh
so.
yeah.
But I would say for my entertainment, I like Primitive Technology.
Okay.
Have you ever watched him?
No. What's that about?
He doesn't say a word, and he lives. I don't even know where he lives, but it's out in the middle of nowhere, and he builds incredible structures and technology out of clay and mud.
Wow.
And yeah, I'll send you the link. It's really
primitive
he just released
technology. That's
Primitive Technology. I believe that's what it's called. But he quit YouTube for a while. I think almost a year.
Okay.
Because so many people were trying to copy what he was doing. So he quit, and then now he just came back. I think right before Christmas.
That's probably the worst thing to do if people are copying you, right? Because okay, I'm gonna let you guys all catch up, and then I'll be back.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
wow.
funny. But yeah, he's just I don't know. It doesn't say a word.
Huh.
It's just fun to watch him progress.
Yeah. Okay. Chris John Plant, is that his name?
I don't know. Let me look. Here's
say?
Chris finding it.
Yeah. He had it up there a second ago. Was that the right one?
Oh, I wasn't looking. Sorry.
Well, no,
but yeah.
That I do really always appreciate when a video can hold your attention without saying a word, then they've really got something there. And do you ever see those things where they put a piece of wood on a turning thing and they spin it really fast and then they make something out? Those things are so hypnotizing. It's just like,
that's cool.
What's it going to be?
Yep.
What's he making?
Let's look at my list here. I watch Peter Lindgren quite a bit. I like him.
Yeah. Okay.
Seen him. Tech Zone's one that I just got into. He just shows products, new tech products and stuff. Different things that are out there. I watch Jevin.
Yeah.
He's got good stuff.
Yep.
Of course, all the drone channels. I watch just about every one of them. So
nice. Do you ever watch The Everyday Dad? Gary.
We used to be kind of actually visit all the time. We chat, we text each other.
Yeah.
And then when he got out of drones and went into computers and Apple and
he was in an Apple commercial. I just saw him. Are
you kidding me?
I just saw him in an Apple commercial when they released the M2. They used a clip from his video, not talking. It's just like a few, music and a few seconds of him like opening it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he was one of our first speakers at Spin Up. He came down here and same here. I used to talk to him because he and his wife did a live stream together for a long time.
Yep.
And I will
I was
say
on there a few times.
but I think he's approaching like 600,000 or 700,000 subscribers at
He's
this point.
killing it.
Yeah,
Killing it.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, and
Every video he puts out, he's got 25,000 views
yeah,
in less than a day.
yeah. Like, man,
So good.
wow. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
but he's a really good guy. He's very likable. I
Yeah.
think his catchphrase was always, "If I can do it, you can
If I
do
can
it."
do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I should probably go through and clean some of these out because I got a lot. I got a lot here that I really don't watch anymore. But Devin Supertramp, he's one that
Oh
he's a
yeah.
filmmaker that God, I just love his stuff.
My son watches him a lot. That
So good.
Yeah. No, it is kind of a rabbit hole, and then you start getting into shorts, and I've been getting these shorts from Neil deGrasse Tyson, and every time that guy talks, it's something interesting. I'll tell you something I just learned. Did you know that during the plague, did you know that the biggest spreader of the plague was what? Do you have any idea?
Well, I would guess it would be like feces, but maybe
It was
not.
fleas. It was
Oh,
fleas.
fleas.
Fleas carried the
Really?
plague. Do you know how fleas got into your house? On what?
No.
On what animal? Rats. So this is Neil
Okay.
deGrasse Tyson. So fleas got into your house on rats. I'm going somewhere with this. This is really interesting.
Okay.
Well, guess who didn't die from die from the plague? People with cats. So if you
Cats.
owned
Oh.
a cat, you were less likely to have the plague because cats, kept the rats away.
Wow.
And then the people who didn't die from the plague and who had cats, more women, according to our man, Neil deGrasse Tyson, more women than men owned cats, and people who didn't die from the plague were accused, because they didn't die, of being witches. Because they were magic and so burned at the stake and all that. And that is why cats are associated with witches.
Witches.
Because they, that was his story. I thought it was,
Wow.
whether it's true or not, it's really fascinating.
That is fascinating. That's really cool.
Yeah, yeah. No, he also talked about if during the plague, the way they would see if you were alive, they'd put a mirror up to your mouth.
Yeah.
And if you didn't fog the mirror, they thought you were dead. But when they buried you, they had a piece of string tied to a bell. So if you got buried alive and you kind of came back, like you started breathing again and whatever, or you're breathing heavier, you could pull that string. You know what phrase that?
It's not for whom the bell tolls.
Dead ringer.
It's dead ringer. There we go.
Yes.
Yeah. I've heard that story before. Yep.
Oh man. And we got somebody asking about drones. Like, you got to talk about drones. And by the way, thank you,
Sure.
Brad Alston, my brother Brad from Virginia. I am going to the South Florida Drone Meetup in 2023 on April 1st, and actually, Chris, SunriseWaterMedia, is coming with me, so we're really excited about it. Yeah, be good to get out there. I mean, that's a meetup that Ray Kelly started 2 years ago. I think this is his third one. And man, he's killing it. He's got like 75, 100 people showing up to this thing.
Wow.
Yeah, very, very cool.
I saw Ken Dono talking about it the other day. I think he's going to be there for one of the days.
Yeah, I think he's in Florida. I think he's over towards Tampa. But pretty much everything in Florida, if it's east to west, is like 2 hours or 3 hours, right? It's not that wide of a state. But so getting back to drones for a minute, we were talking about the Avada and talking about cold. Chris, can you roll that video for us? So I wanted to show you, we've had this ice storm here, and this is my office complex, and this is just flying the Avada through the office complex, and you can see all the ice on the trees. Well, all these trees that got ice ended up getting really heavy and just weighted down and broke, like so many tree branches falling on cars, falling on houses, falling, blocking the road, all that stuff. You live in a place with a lot of ice. How does, do you just get more snow and it doesn't happen? Or how do your trees not fall down every winter?
Oh, they do. We get both. In the fall and in the spring, we get ice storms just like this. I mean,
really?
exactly
Okay.
looks like this.
Yeah, I mean, can you see all these branches down on the ground?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That happens quite often, actually. I've lost quite a few trees, especially evergreens.
Okay, well, yeah, that's an evergreen right there.
Yeah, it gets so heavy, and then the roots are so shallow on our evergreens that they just fall right over. So you got, we'll have 60-foot evergreens fall down because they have so much ice on them. So
Oh man.
yeah, that
Okay.
happens a lot. And then the power lines break because
Yep.
they get so heavy.
Yep.
Yep.
That's exactly what happened here.
Yep.
That's why we've been without power at my house for like 4 days. And actually, my office was out yesterday. I think I emailed you and said, "Hey, it might not be able to do it," but
Yeah.
they got the power back on here.
By the way, I got something for you. If you want me to send this to you.
Is that one of those generators?
Yeah, I got EcoFlow here for you.
Oh, no. So wait, what is that? What does that run on? Is it rechargeable? It's batteries?
Yeah, this is solar gen. That's.
Yeah, I saw you had a video about that, and
Yeah, I
basically
do
said,
quite a few of these. So.
okay.
But and they love it. I love them.
Will it work?
Awesome.
Will it work on a cloudy day? Like you see the video here. You see how gray it is and kind of overcast.
Yeah.
Can you collect enough energy in like a couple of hours to charge a phone or whatever?
No, I mean a little bit. You wouldn't get hardly any. You maybe get 20 watts with the weather right there, but you just have them charged all the time, and you're prepared for situations. But
yeah, well, here's what happens. Yeah. Here's what happens to me. You have kids, right?
Yeah.
So I have one of those. I don't have that one. I have a different one, and I actually reviewed it like a year ago. And guess what? My kids plug all their stuff into it, and it's got an AC outlet, and they drain it, and then my wife and I both plug our laptops and our phones and all that stuff into it as well. And by the time it's drained, when you go 4 days without, you have to have a place to recharge the thing, right?
Right.
And that's where I wish we had some sun. But I mean, look at that ice. That is not a common occurrence here in Texas.
No, that's pretty thick.
That's a pretty unusual thing. But no, totally agree on those backup power things are awesome to have. But you probably don't lose your power. You guys are set for it. You know how to.
No, we lose our power a lot. Actually, we lost it the other day, at 3 a.m. for almost 4 hours, and
it got pretty cold.
Yeah, it got cold fast because it was 14 below outside.
Oh, now we don't have that problem.
40 below wind chills. So it, I don't know what it got down. I want to say it was 59 by the time the power came back on. So.
Wow.
But I mean, everybody was sleeping.
59 in the house.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah. So if it would have been much longer, it was cold. So yeah.
You remember in 2021 when Texas had snowpocalypse, when our whole grid kind of failed. Yeah. My wife was here. So I was up in Colorado visiting Sean and Ed Ricker, and we were snowboarding and got stuck up there because there were no flights back. So I'm like, okay, I'll snowboard for a couple more days. That sounds good to me. My wife had a cup of water next to the bed, and she said it froze solid. Like it was below 32 in our house. Yeah.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Yeah.
Well, how did your water pipes not bust?
Well, our pipes didn't break, but we have a tankless water heater, and that burst.
Okay.
It was out. It's outside, and we didn't drain it. I didn't know you were supposed to drain it. I wasn't even there. But that broke. A lot of water pipes broke, but we were fortunate. We have a slab house, and I think it's not. I think everything's underneath, but. And thank you to Uncle Bill's Toys for gas money for Chris and I. Actually, we are going to be driving from Orlando down to the meetup, Stewart Beach, I think is what it's called. So you said, we were talking earlier about the Avada, and that was all footage from the Avada I just showed you, by the way. You said you've always plugged your phone in. That's always been your kind of MO when flying the thing.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. I didn't know that you could fly it without the phone. So
initially,
everyone's in an uproar about now with a recent update, you have to fly with your phone because remote ID is enabled. And I'm like, you can fly without your phone? I had no idea. So this whole time from day one, I've had my phone plugged in.
Okay. And
part of the reason is it was like a redundant way to record the screen. So I was recording with my screen recorder on my iPhone.
Yep.
And then also it records your goggles.
Yep.
So it was just, for me, it was just another way to record the screen. But yeah, I didn't even know you didn't have to do that, but now you have to. So I'm not that upset about it that you have to use your phone to fly it. But
it's like I didn't know I could order steak, or else I would have ordered steak. But I guess I'll take a hamburger. So Chris and I did do some testing, and we did make a video about this where we had it plugged in, and I don't know if you've tried this, but if you unplug it, you get a thing that says remote ID error. So you can unplug the phone, but if you're in the air, if the thing's already flying, it doesn't do anything. Like it just flies normal until until you land, and then you can't take
Sure.
off again. So, for people who are kind of, upset about it or wrapped around the axle, or maybe your phone is almost dead or whatever, you
Mhm.
can take off, unplug, and then go fly pretty much normal. And then when you take off again, you'll have to plug it back in. We tried turning off the location awareness. We put it into airplane mode. We actually unplugged it, and it didn't impact it. All you get is a little remote ID error.
Hmm.
Oh, you actually do need location on, yeah, because that's so I guess iPhones and Android phones, their GPS is not part of data, right? GPS is its own thing, and so that's the GPS is how you can be located. Now, one thing I've never tried, and Russ, I don't know if you have, is to actually locate a pilot using remote ID, like using a location software.
I have not.
The
No.
Karen app, as they call it. Uh,
Nope.
no, we're gonna
Nope.
try that. I think there are some free. Apps that allow you to actually see where other pilots are flying.
Yeah, I haven't even looked at it. I did have a conversation today, really interesting, from a couple of guys that started a business. It's a counter drone business, and former FBI agents that got into counter drone technology, and they've started a website, and then also they do consulting for the I think for the federal government, but also for entities that require, say, like NFL
Yeah,
game.
stadiums,
Yeah, yeah. So they
Super
worked,
Bowl.
they worked the Super Bowl last year, and so they actually, one thing he told me, he's like, you wouldn't believe how many drones that were flying during the Super Bowl that they had to
Really?
intercept.
Like
Yeah, yeah,
people actually trying to get shots of the Super Bowl.
yeah, yep.
So
So,
how does
so
it
that was
work?
their
Is
job.
it net, or is it a ray gun? What's the technology?
I don't know, and that's what we're going to talk about. So I'm
Uh,
gonna, excuse me, I'm gonna do a video with them, and
you're gonna try and fly your drone over the Super Bowl next Sunday, and they're gonna try
yeah,
and
that's
stop
a
you.
test. Yeah, it's gonna be a test. But one thing that he mentioned, and they're both drone pilots. They're both Part 107 pilots, and they've been flying drones for many years. And and he said one thing that people need to understand is that for counter drone technology, you want to have people that know drones. You want to know, like one example that he gave is there was was it a helicopter? It was an emergency helicopter or fire, or I don't know what it was, but so it was flying and there was a drone in the area. They knew the drone was there. The drone was hovering at 30 feet above the ground. And they chose not to disable it because if they would have, what would have happened, it would have kicked in to return to home,
Would
and
have
it would
gone
have
up.
increased it. Would have gone up and it would have been in the
Yeah,
flight path. So
yeah,
they
smart.
knew, being drone pilots, just leave it alone, and everything's going to be okay. Just they were aware of it. So, if you
Yeah,
would have had somebody that doesn't know about that, they probably would have disabled it and then it could have been worse. So,
and
yeah.
that's what you
So,
think.
yeah.
If like, have you ever been in the air and seen a plane, like a small plane nearby? And I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
my first instinct is always to go down, right? It's always
Yeah.
to cut the throttle as much as I safely can and try to get below it, because I assume it's
Yep.
going to go up.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense, because return to home, if they had that thing set at 200 feet to avoid
Hmm.
trees, it would have just taken off upward, and that would have been bad news
Yeah. It would have been direct.
potentially.
So, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I always, when I first started flying, I remember when I got my Mavic 2 Pro, and it was the first flight, I think. Yeah, it was first flight. I drove out of town, out in the country, middle of nowhere, and probably I would say 10 miles out of town. Excuse me. And I parked alongside the road and I launched it. Beautiful farmland where I was flying, and I was amazed by it. And I heard an airplane. Yeah.
Crop
So,
duster.
yeah. And I was only at probably 150 feet,
Yeah,
maybe.
well, they go lower than that. The crop dusters do.
Seriously. And I seriously have never been so scared in my life. I
Yeah.
couldn't even drive home. I was shaking, but he was coming directly at my drone, and he
Oh,
was coming down and he was going underneath the power lines, and I was right in his line of
Oh,
flight.
oh,
So I almost did the
this
where you shut
emergency.
off,
Yeah, yeah,
emergency shut off, but I didn't. I just put the stick down and it went down and it went almost all the way down into a wheat field
yeah.
and he flew right where I was. I was just
Oh man.
I still get goosebumps thinking about it
And that was your first flight with this thing, or first day to
with the
fly it?
Mavic 2 Pro. Yeah, and I
Wow.
was just
Yeah.
like I was just literally like
Did
shaking on
did
the
you
way
have a
home.
YouTube channel at that time?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I mean, what a awful thing to
Oh God.
lose your new drone, cause an
Yeah.
accident,
Yeah.
check, all these things you don't
Yeah.
want to happen.
And now when I'm flying,
Uh-oh. Well, we lost Russ. What was going on there? He said, now when I'm flying, and then he was gone. Well, just word of caution to everybody out there: if you're in a wheat field and you think you're all by yourself, you may not be. So it's probably best to make sure that you are keeping an eye out. Visual observer is always a good thing. I will say it's kind of weird because when I've flown up at the St. Lawrence River, kind of out over the water, there are occasionally tourist helicopters and boats that will come over, tourist helicopters and airplanes that will come over, and you don't hear them very long before you see them. I mean, they will just kind of be, oh, there you are. You're back. Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you. I don't know.
That was
Like I
weird.
have my camera plugged in.
You just
But
went black for a second and then you were back.
yeah,
Did
my
did,
it
did you have
said
to
battery
reconnect?
exhausted.
Oh, on the
Yeah.
camera. Well,
Yeah,
so
but I have it plugged in, so I don't know what happened.
I was just saying you need that power bank, man.
I do. It's plugged into the wall though. I
I
don't
was
know
just
what's
saying
going
how
on.
quickly a drone, or I'm sorry, an airplane or a helicopter can sneak up on you, right?
Oh
Especially if
yes.
it's
Yeah.
flying low. Like you don't realize,
Yeah.
if it's a jumbo jet up at 30,000 feet, you hear it a long way out, right? And you kind of
Right.
know,
Right.
it's at 30,000 feet too. But man,
Yeah.
those things can just come in. I mean, I've just sometimes been pretty surprised how quickly those things can come in out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So as far as your experience with, I know you haven't done a whole lot of FPV before the Avada, right? Or the DJI drone. Have you
Yeah.
flown any other FPV drones?
I have not.
No.
Nope.
I was going to ask you what you thought about O3. I mean, O3 is what's in the Avada, right? The range on that thing and the penetration through walls, through trees, it just blows me away. Just that little shot that we were doing of the of my office that we were looking at a few minutes ago. I'm sitting in front of my office with a brick wall, several other interior walls, and then another brick wall and a metal roof, and it's on the
Wow.
other side of the building. No breakup whatsoever. Just
Wow, that's great.
amazing how well that works. And if you flew, I mean, we've got several people in the chat, Doc Murdoch being the one I think of mostly, who has flown analog FPV for a long time. Just that reliability to not get that breakup when you've got the goggles on, because it can just be such a scary thing when all of a sudden you start to lose that signal. And that happens with camera drones too, right? Have you ever been just flying somewhere and randomly all of a sudden you can't see it?
Oh,
and
yeah.
You're like, what?
Yeah. See, but the difference is with the camera drone, you got the GPS lock. You don't have to worry about it's going to hover or it's going to come
Yeah.
home. But with FPV, you're flying blind. You have no idea where it is.
What do you set your return to height altitude at generally?
Well, typically,
Return
like
to home height.
it just depends on where I'm at, but I'll have it set to 150 feet. So,
okay. So there's nothing.
I don't ever fly anywhere
generally,
higher than
nothing around you that's that tall that's going to be
Right.
problematic. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
What is your favorite drone that you've ever owned? Like if you had to get rid of all your, he's gone again. I was going to ask Russ his favorite drone if he had to get rid of every other drone. Maybe that camera's overheating. That's all I can think of on it. If he had to get rid of every other drone, which one he would keep? Tell me in the chat, for everybody out there, if you could only keep one drone, and I think for me right now, that's tough because would it be camera or FPV? I almost have to divide those two into two different categories. I still really love the Gep RC rocket for FPV because it's just so small. The balloon got him. That Chinese balloon. Is that what you mean, John? Good to see you. But right now, man, I'm just loving the Mini 3 so much. That has just been such a pleasant surprise at how well the Mini 3 does. All right, so Ben Cartwright says Inspire 2. Yeah, that's a big one. That's a good one. Air 2S, Uncle Bill's Toys. Johnny Drone Flyer says Mini 3 Pro. That's kind of where I'm at. Air 2S, Air 2S. Avada. Yeah, Artco. I love the Avada. Max Air 420, thanks for the DJI sucks. You need to put a hashtag in front of that, buddy. Yeah. So I guess, I don't know. Russ seems to be having maybe some technical difficulties. I think while he's out, we could go ahead and spin the wheel. Oh, he's back? There he is.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Is your camera overheating maybe?
No, it's not overheating. So I have my camera plugged in.
Are you just too handsome?
I'm not. I don't know. I have my battery in, but my battery's dead.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't matter because I have it plugged into the. I don't get it.
Can you pull the battery out?
No, because then it disconnects. Let's see.
You have to have the battery.
Let's check it out.
Yeah, I was wondering if maybe it's seen the dead battery. Nope, that killed it. It's dead. Kaput. Joe Photo Leo said he just sold his Air 2S. Yeah, Mavic 4 is absolutely fantastic. Agreed about that. It's just that ability to travel easily with it and be under 250 grams. All right, Russ is back. I see him.
Anyway,
there he is.
What was your question?
My question was, if you could only keep one camera drone, what would it be? Like, had to get rid of all the others.
Mini 3 Pro.
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. That thing.
Yeah, I mean, just because it's so versatile and so compact, and just the image is great. Battery life's great. I mean, everything about it is great.
No, I feel the same way. I was saying earlier that I'm gonna be going over to the UK in March, and I think that's what I'm gonna take with me. I might take a little like 4S FPV drone too, and try to sneak under the radar. I mean, I know the laws over there are different, but I was up in Canada, up in Halifax and Toronto just recently, and took the Mini 3, and it was perfect. You know, I never felt like well, it's so quiet too. People don't notice it. What do you got down there?
I'm trying to find my battery charger here.
Got a cat?
So what, so when you're flying internationally, what are the rules for bringing drones? Is it any different than flying domestically?
Well, I can tell you, when I went to Germany, the rules were fairly different. You had to, a couple of things. You had to actually have, you know how you have to have your name, or you have to have your number, your FAA number on the drone.
Yeah.
In Germany, you have to have your name and phone number, and it has to be in something that wouldn't be destroyed by fire. So it has to be etched onto some sort of metal. I thought that was a pretty interesting, like something you can put on it, whereas if there's, or battery fire or something, it's not going to burn off. You also had to have insurance. So you could buy insurance temporarily, but you had to have sort of this liability insurance to fly the drone over there. Now, this was 2019, almost 4 years ago, so I don't know if the laws have changed. And that was, I had my Mavic 2 at the time. I took it over there, and Felix from Quadcopter Guide. Have you met Felix?
Yep.
Yeah, he kind of met up with me, and fortunately, he was able to take me to places where we flew. We flew at this place called Andex. It's a monastery. Then they make beer.
Oh.
It was
cool.
awesome. It's kind of up on this hill. It's like looks like kind of a castle, and there's farm all around it. And we went out and flew laps around there, and then we flew above a lake called the Tegernsee, and there's a hiking trail. We hiked up to the top of this kind of hill above it, I'd say small mountain, and flew up there. And fortunately, we were just kind of far away from everybody, so I did not have a metal identifier on it. I had it on with just a piece of tape and a Sharpie because they didn't care about my FAA number over there.
Oh, sure.
But I did get the insurance, so I had, it was something you could do where you could just buy it. He told me what to buy.
Oh, cool.
Canada, I believe, also has kind of similar laws to the U.S. I know in Canada you can't fly in the national parks, and I don't think you can fly in provincial parks either. I think you have to stay away from there. When I was in Halifax, I was mostly flying out over the water because it's on the coast, and so I was doing shots of the city through the middle of the water and just keeping an eye out for low-flying planes, right? People coming in over that water for some reason. And then there's a place called Peggy's Cove, and it's also in Halifax, and actually Ray Kelly's been there. He mentioned that it's one of the most famous lighthouses in the world, most photographed lighthouses, because it's on these rocks and it sticks way out and the water kind of splashes up on it.
Oh, yeah.
And actually here's some footage of it. Chris just pulled that up. Is that Peggy's Cove? Yeah, this is Peggy's Cove. So and then me talking about it. There's the lighthouse. Me flying out over the water, I kind of felt like, all right, if this thing goes in the drink, that's my problem, nobody else's.
Yeah.
But it was so windy, and
pretty.
the Mini 3 just killed it there. I mean, it was it was just, you can't really tell from the footage because there aren't a lot of trees or anything or flags, but the wind was just howling there, and it was, it just did it.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing, I'm going to actually talk to Geeks Vana over about what I can take to the UK and the best way to approach that, because I don't want to, but I'm also not going to fly in downtown London. I'm going to make sure we're out in the sticks before I do anything like that.
Even though I'd like to.
Yeah. That would be pretty awesome. Get some shots of the Tims and the Eye and all that stuff. So you said a little while ago you might start doing some live streaming. Is that something you've considered?
Well, I put a poll last December out asking if people would be interested in that, and it was a few. I want to say it was 40%. Close to 50% that said that they would watch it. I thought that might be higher, but no, I think it's a great way to engage with your audience. It's a different format, so you can actually visit in real time through the chat, and I think it's just fun to have guests on and just get a different perspective. I think it's just I think the more variety you can offer for your viewers, the better. So a lot of people that watch YouTube are kind of fickle, and they just they get bored and they're like, I'm done watching this guy.
Yeah.
So I think you need to bring new things. You need to bring different things just to keep it interesting. Yeah, and people make fun of me and others, sometimes about my name on my channel is 51 Drones, but I also do portable power and now e-bikes and
e-bikes are awesome.
Rechargeable things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want to do stuff that I'm interested in too. I don't want to just do random things, but I want to do those other things just to keep people like, oh, that's interesting. I never knew about that. So I think it's fun to try new products and try new experiences, and just let my audience have fun with it. And they'll let you know if, like, don't ever do this again. They'll say, this is dumb. Don't quit doing this.
Yeah. They didn't really care about the nonstick pans that you reviewed in the kitchen.
Yeah, no, right, exactly.
But it doesn't stick. You can make a cake, an omelet. It all works.
Amazing.
So that is sort of the curse. Blessing and curse of having the word drone in your channel name is people. I mean, I think generally if people are looking for drone content, you're going to be higher up on the list because, you have the word drone in your name. But I think, like you said, e-bikes, I love e-bikes, skateboards. I love skateboards. I love 360 cameras, and my 360 camera videos never do very well compared to everything else. And I'm like,
some do, but
I mean, it kind of depends on if there's a big product launch with it. Sometimes that helps, but it's just, I've often kind of thought about like, wow, I wonder if I had named the channel something different. But at the end of the day, like iPhonedo, right? iPhonedo.
Right.
I mean, his channel is called iPhonedo, and he does everything.
Everything.
So Dinah Drone said, "Here's a start, $2 super chat." I think that could be your seed money for your life. You know what that's for? That's for a camera that doesn't go black every 30 seconds. That's what you need.
I'll put it towards a new battery, so I got another battery.
There you
I
go.
have 4 batteries for my camera, and they're apparently all dead. So
Wow. Well, that's what that cold weather will do to you.
yeah, that's right.
Well, do you want to spin the wheel and see who won these hidden hashtags?
Let's do it.
So I will tell you that you were a little bit of the inspiration for this. When you launched your new logo, I think you asked several other channels. How did that work? You asked us to put your logo in our video, or was it something like that?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Remember
That's
that?
right.
We hid your logo for like 2 frames or
Pop
1
up.
frame,
Yep.
just somewhere in the background. And
Yep.
and then I think people had to go on like a scavenger hunt and figure out where the logo was or which channels it was on.
You had to watch all the channels to find it. Yep.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
And they had to tell me where in the video it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should do that again. That's fun.
Well, so we have a similar thing. So we do these hidden hashtags, and we have it'll be something like, I think there was a shot where Chris was filming me with a GoPro, and I was flying, but I was goggle recording in the Avada. And you know, when you goggle record, there's a little red dot that says you're recording, and it popped. The little dot was like right on his face, like right on his cheek. And I think we put laser cheek was I said it looks like somebody's got you sighted in with a laser.
Oh yeah.
You know, like they're about to pop one in your cheek there. And so it was hashtag laser cheek, you know, and so we've had some fun with those different hashtags coming up. And so what we've done now is everybody I think he's got a shot of the laser cheek here. I don't know if you can actually see the.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, you see it right there popping up on his cheek. Russ has got you in his sights.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. So we put those in, and people have been finding them. And so what we do is we put this wheel together that has people's names, and if you are if you've done it, then we put your name on here, and then you win a prize. And we're going to pick 2. Must be watching to win. So actually, Chris, is there any way to put that in the other box so Russ can spin the wheel? No, okay. Let me see if I'm going to spin the wheel. Are we ready to spin it here? All right. Does it go down or up? All right. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Nice.
That worked pretty well. All right.
Yeah,
so this is the first winner for the hashtag. Wait a minute. You said you took his name out. So Chris Hope wins, and it's funny because he said he didn't want to be in the contest because he's kind of he like helps with the show and stuff. So so Chris Hope, if you're still in the chat, is Chris Hope still in the chat? Have you ever met Chris Hope, Russ, in person?
I have not.
Man, no. You are missing out. He is a heck of a guy. Actually, I think there's a big lobby. Maybe we need a hashtag. It's 51 drones at spin up. Hashtag 51 drones at spin up. Really need you to come down. I know I haven't given you a date yet. I told you it will be in the fall, and I know you got kid stuff going on, but I'm going to try and give you enough notice so you can come down because I'd really like to hang out. I think that would be fun. Hashtag rigged. All right.
Yeah,
well, sorry, Chris Hope. We thought we had taken your name out. Have you got his name out now? Okay, here we go. One more time and go. Let's see who this one is. Chris Hope did get those hashtags right, though. All right.
Oh, that's close.
Yeah, barely moving there. Who is that? Reese Neal? Is that what that says?
Yep.
Reese Neal's in the chat? I'm not sure. Reese Neal, if you're in the chat, identify yourself. We've had winners that don't watch First Friday, and that's kind of a requirement. All right, I'm not seeing Reese Neal in there. Yes, Ray Kelly. I will be announced. Maybe I'll announce the dates for Spin Up at your event, at the Florida event. It'll be. There you go. 51 drones, SFDMU. I think that's South Florida drone meetup. That's a long way to go.
I'm not gonna make that one.
That is coming up here. Russ at Spin Up. Thank you, Eat More Possum. Hey, Brent, what's up? All right, let's do one more. See if we can get one more out here. All right, here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. And hashtag winner. I'm betting on that green. Yes, it's the green. And who is that? Brad, my brother Brad. You know what? I need to send him a package. I'm glad Brad Alston won. And I said this earlier, Brad actually watched a video where I forgot to put a hashtag in, and like watched it 3 or 4 times, and then scolded me in the chat for not putting a hashtag in. So, congratulations, Brad. I'm gonna send you an extra good package. Independent Drone Channel. Hello. So one other thing that I wanted to talk about here is we have this thing called Subscriber of the Month, and I've usually picked somebody out. But this month we are doing something where we're actually going to watch a video from one of my subscribers on Ready Set Drone. He's probably a subscriber, probably more likely to be a subscriber of yours than mine, but he is, I think, on both channels, Carolina Air Shots. So what I'd like to do, Chris, if it's all right, is it possible to play that without sound? Yes. And because I think we could just talk over it. What he did, this name is Jeff. It's a pretty short video. He did an FPV fly-through using a, what was this, Air Mini 2. So he basically sped up the footage. You know, it's all pretty stable, but check this out. Into the warehouse, through the warehouse, over stuff. I mean, this kind of looks like an FPV fly-through, don't you think?
Yeah, a little bit. Yep.
I'm assuming he had to turn all his obstacle avoidance stuff off.
Obstacle avoidance, yeah.
One thing that,
well, if it was a Mini 2.
Mini 2.
Was it?
Yeah, it was a Mini 2. It has front, right? Front facing?
Yeah.
One thing that I've talked about with Chris, and this is something you've probably experienced on the Avada, is horizon steady versus rock steady. Which do you prefer? Do you have a preference on that?
I like horizon steady.
Okay. So that footage, I mean, you could kind of see what he was doing there. That looked like horizon steady on the Avada or a gimbal that was just keeping the thing really, really steady. But really awesome video for somebody who wasn't actually flying FPV to be able to do that with a Mini 2.
Sure.
Have you flown your Avada indoors anywhere? Like any, like businesses or warehouses or anything like that?
I flew it at an indoor pool when I first got it.
Oh,
there was no water in the pool.
I was about to say
drained it.
Okay, so if it fell, it wasn't gonna go in the water.
So it was like a little skate park. But yeah, I flew in and around there, and just to get used to flying it indoors. And I actually hit the side of the pool, and I had to use the turtle mode. I mean, I could have went down there to get it, but I used turtle mode to get it back out of there. So that was my first experience ever using turtle mode too.
And it works great on that thing, doesn't it? Especially if it's really on a hard surface. Yeah. No, it's the turtle mode on that thing. It's absolutely killer. It's kind of weird though, because it isn't like anything you do with the sticks. It's like a button you just push, right? You just go into the menu and say turtle mode, and it just flips itself over.
Just flips it right over.
So it landed on its back. You were able to take back off and then take off out of the pool, no problem. Nothing broken.
Yeah.
Have you cracked or broken any props or anything on that thing?
Nope, nothing. I mean, I got one prop that's kind of chipped a little bit, but it's scuffed up pretty good, because when I was first flying it, I was flying it off of the sidewalk, and when I first tried, flying it acro. Yeah. And so I'd go up and I'd get it going and I'd get ready, and then I'd start to go forward, and then I'd just lose all control and it come right on the sidewalk. So I should have started on the grass, but
it would have been a good time. Learned. Or a trampoline, or a mattress, something soft,
big mattress.
One of those trapeze things, where. So actually, kind of funny. My Avada sitting over there. If you look on the inside of my Avada, it is completely green with grass. It's like it's chopped so much grass. It's got this grass stain around the inside. And if you smell it, it actually smells like lawn clippings. Oh, thank you, Chris. Sure. Yeah, it's just got this kind of. Hold on, he's going to zoom in for us here. Well, you want to zoom in on? Yeah.
I have that too. Not as bad, but on the inside of the front ducts is all green.
Well, yeah, yours would probably be like snow or tundra or something, right? I mean,
that's right. Yeah.
This is no, and I'll say the only thing that I really can't stand about this drone is taking the card in and out. Like,
oh my God.
Just
It's like they got together and said, you know what?
Where's the
Let's make
hardest
this.
places we could put
Yeah,
this thing?
let's make it as irritating as possible. Who's got a great idea?
We've got
He's
these
like, what
big
if we put it?
Americans with those big beefy fingers, and they're trying to
Yeah,
get it in. Yeah,
I can't even get it open right now. But why? I
yeah,
mean, there's so many other places that you could have put in it.
yeah,
I don't get it.
yeah. I mean, it wasn't even like they were trying to stay under 250 grams of this thing, right?
I
But
know.
but as
Yeah.
far as a grass chopper goes, yeah, this thing's been I've beaten this up pretty badly, and it's survived pretty well.
It is so tough. Yeah.
So how is your acro these days? Getting better?
No good. No
No,
good at all.
still no good. You
It's
know,
terrible.
I'll give you a little challenge on that if you wanted
Okay.
to. How many batteries do you have?
I have 3 batteries.
3 batteries. So if you had the time for, like, I'd say just 5 days in a row, if you flew acro, this is how I learned how to fly acro with FPV, but it wasn't this drone. It was but it was the same idea. I went out and did 10 batteries every day for a week, and my acro went from 0 to not bad. And
Yeah.
with this, the battery life is so much longer. And I'm
Yeah.
talking about, like, we're getting like 6 minutes out of a flight for
Yeah.
what I did. You're going to get 15, 20 minutes out of a
Yeah.
flight with this
Yeah.
thing. So if you were to do 3 batteries in acro, and let's say that's 45 minutes of flying, man, I think you would just find it's just a matter of doing it every day. My son got on the DRL, the Drone Racing League simulator, every day for an hour for 10 days. And he went his best lap going around one of the racetracks. Oh, this is in the computer game. Was like 9 minutes. It took him to get around this thing. He was doing that same thing in acro mode. When he started, he was flying in normal mode. In acro mode, under 1 minute after 10 days
Wow.
of flying an hour.
Of sim.
Yeah,
So
in the sim.
what would you suggest? Do more time on the sim or go out and fly?
Well, I mean, you have an Avada. I think if you're, I mean, how are you able to keep it in the air for a little bit and kind of control it?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Okay.
can keep it up. And I think what I need to do is I need to get up high. I think I'm flying too low. I think I need to get up high so I have room for mistakes.
Yeah. I think initially that would be okay, but eventually that's one of the things that is so much fun about FPV is when you do fly close to things, like flying through, like that little. Now, of course, I was in normal mode when I shot that video of the ice around here, but I'd be very comfortable doing that in acro mode. And just being able to get into that situation where you just know you can make it through a gap, and it's muscle memory. And so I honestly think 3 days of doing FPV. Are you bringing up that video of Tate? Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. This actually, hold on. Once this commercial is done on about Wix or whatever it is, Chris is bringing up the video of my son. It's always kind of funny for me because he's 18 now. He's about to turn 18 in March, and this is just when he was such a little kid. This was like 2 or 3 years ago, and kids just grow so fast. Yeah. He was just sucking at it. It was so much fun though, because there was actually a night. Most nights I stayed up with him and filmed him doing it, and then there was a night I went to bed and he got up on his own and filmed. He's like, "Dad, I got to do my hour," and so he got up and did it. And so we made a video about it. But yeah, he went from taking literally almost 10 minutes to do around this course to doing it in less than a minute after 10 days.
Nice.
Yeah. But it's time commitment. It's whether you,
Right.
but you could always make a YouTube video out of it. Turn it into gold.
Yeah, that's right.
51 ounces of gold.
One thing I have been doing is on my controller. You know how you have to loosen the spring on the left stick. So I just leave it loose now, and I fly in regular mode.
Yeah,
but I don't have this.
You can't just let go, and you've got to kind of set it so it'll hover at the same height.
Yeah. So I mean, that's just one little way to practice that.
And that is big because once I loosen mine, I don't ever tighten them back up, even in normal mode. And so there've been times where I'm shooting a video and I want this thing to just hover, and I'm like up a little bit, and it goes, and it keeps going. I'm like down a little bit, and it keeps going down. I'm like, okay, got to find that sweet spot. I do like that controller though. I like the form factor about it. I really like the original. I don't know if you ever saw the original DJI FPV controller, but it was a big black box. and it looked like a traditional RC controller from, you know, when we were kids. Remember those big Futaba controllers and stuff like that? It looked like one of those. This one's a little more video game looking.
Yeah.
Do you ever play any video games? Anything you?
I do quite a bit actually. Yeah.
What do you play?
I play Warzone, Call of Duty.
Nice. Okay.
I'm a shooter. I like shooters.
I'm
not good.
My son plays a lot of those. Have you ever played Portal, the video game Portal?
No, I have not.
Do you have Steam? Do you use Steam?
The only thing I use Steam for is Liftoff. So.
Oh, okay. Portal is on Steam. You can play it on there. It's a shooter, but it's a different kind of shooter. It's a puzzle game, and you basically are trapped in this building, and this sort of maniacal robot is putting you through all these tests, and you have a gun, and when you shoot it into the wall, it creates a hole, and you shoot an orange one in one wall and then a blue one in the other wall, and when you go through the orange one, you come out where the blue one is. So it's like you have to figure out these maps how to get through this entire thing. And then there's like evil robots trying to kill you, but you can't shoot them. You're basically just trying to get away from. Yeah, actually, Chris has it right here. Man, Chris is on tonight. Yeah, so there's the gun, and let's see if they shoot a hole there. It's a pretty old game, but I will tell you, it's one of the funniest games I've ever played, because it just really makes you figure out, like, if I want to get from here to there, how do I do it? And then a lot of them have like things where you have to shoot a hole in the floor, and then another one in the wall. You jump down, and your momentum as you go through the floor, because you're going so fast, shoots you out of the wall and shoots you across like a chasm or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
Nice. I don't have much time to do that, because anytime that I do have, I have to put into the channel. So
yeah.
And usually that's not till 10 o'clock at night. So.
Same here, man. No, I know what that's, and then you don't want to be even down to just family duties and stuff like that. Okay.
Yeah.
My my in-laws' birthday or already. Yeah. I better go for the birthday.
Yeah, and then it gets dark here at 5 o'clock. So
right.
That's
why you have summers though, right? Because then you got light till like midnight, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
What time? Like June 22nd, the summer solstice. How late does it stay dark or light?
You could still get pretty good light at 10 o'clock. I mean, it's
really
starting to get dark. Yeah. So like I have an outdoor theater that we watch movies at, and we have to wait till 11 o'clock before it's dark enough to see the movie. So, yeah.
Yeah. And what would be a movie? Like, are you a sci-fi guy, superhero guy?
I like everything.
Action?
With 3 young kids, we pretty much watch,
there are some amazing
animated movies.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's some amazing ones that I haven't seen the new Avatar. Have you seen that yet?
I haven't. I'm seeing some pretty mixed reviews. I'm not a big fan of blockbuster sequels.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, why mess with a good thing? But I'll see it eventually when it comes on Disney Plus or whatever.
Did you see the first Avatar?
Oh yeah, many times.
Did you see it in 3D?
No.
Oh, I remember.
I bet that was cool.
Going to the theater, and I really didn't know that much about it. I had heard it was a big thing, we went to the 3D version of it, and it was mind blowing. It was just
really?
Like, yeah, it was. I think I want to see the sequel in 3D, only for the tech, just for the,
Sure.
not really the story or anything like that, but just the, oh my God, this looks so amazing kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it would be too.
So,
yeah. And we're Marvel fan, or my whole family's Marvel fans, so we'll probably watch a Marvel movie tonight after this. We watch Marvel too much, probably.
Well, my son is 18, almost 18, and the one thing he still will do is like over the holidays, we always watch the entire Harry Potter series. So it's like still his. He like most things, like, Dad, I don't do that anymore, but he'll still sit down. And now that we're actually going to England, because he's never been to London, he's like picking out spots. He's like, I want to go, see where that is and where that is and all that stuff. So kind of cool there. Well, man, what a run. We're coming up on Marvel time for you. I do want to real quick mention a couple of more things. If you got 5-10 more minutes.
Oh yeah, I got time.
Cool. All right. Well, first of all, I want to introduce a video that we play pretty much every week. Or every month, sorry, on First Friday. It's called 2 Minutes of Hope. I was telling you about Chris Hope. Chris Hope, like I said, he's just one of these guys that always has something good to say. Super interesting dude, is in the chats, has been to a lot of the meetups and events, and is just one of the most supportive people I know in this community. And I am a big fan, and he does me a favor every month. He makes a video called 2 Minutes of Hope and lets me play it first, and then he puts it on his channel. So we got one this week or this month that he sent just a little while ago, and let's check it out. Yeah, that was the Trinity River over way over its banks.
It doesn't look like a river.
No,
like
the Trinity Swamp, more like it. But Chris is out in East Texas, and so kind of in that neck of the woods. Big flood out there. And I just saw Jody from Drone Shots joined. Hey, what's up, Jody? Good to see you. Thanks for jumping in. Well, it is that time. Last thing of the show. As we wrap up, as I said, I always like to have a subscriber of the month. Last month, it was Eat More Possum. Do you ever see Eat More Possum commenting on your channel, Brent? His name is Brent.
No, I haven't. Well, I'm sure he has.
Yeah.
But you think I would remember that one?
Yeah, I know. That's a name you don't often forget. But he was my subscriber of the month for January. And coincidentally, the subscriber of the month for February is somebody we already talked about. It's Carolina Airshots, Jeff. Oh. He's the one that sent us the video of the fly-through. And I usually send out a nice little prize T-shirt or some stickers or, some little toy drone or something, whatever I have in the box of goodies. Do you find yourself giving a lot of drones to people, Russ? Like if your kids are going to a birthday party and your wife's like, "Hey, we need to get a birthday present for little Sammy." You're like, "Here, I got a toy drone."
No, because I don't have very many toy drones. I've had a couple of them, but
you don't get like all the Tom and nope. Rosewood and Holy Bro and all those guys trying to No. Is that intentional?
I used to, and then I just ignored them all, and I haven't gotten any.
It's really kind of funny because same here. I used to do a lot of them. I used to do a lot of toy drone reviews. I mean, I think that's kind of where I started. But but I got out of it, and then I just started flying some little tiny line of sight drones indoors, and I was like, this is kind of fun. It's still kind of a blast to fly these things. So I've done a few recently, and I actually have a couple, and I find they're good giveaways. If you do a live stream, the nice thing about those is you can do a review of it and then give them away on the live stream.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, congrats to Jeff with Carolina Air Shots. I appreciate Jeff always, again, is one of those people that's in the chat and bringing good vibes to the drone community. And Russ, I really appreciate you hopping on. Like I said, it's really, you and I have been doing this kind of in parallel for a long time and have yet to meet in person, but I think 2023 might be the year. You never know. I hope so. Well, thanks again for coming on. And I said, I am working on the venue for Spin Up. That's really the big thing, is booking the venue. I'm looking at a couple of options still. So before I tell everybody where it is, I want to make sure it's accurate. But I'll let you know if it's possible. Hey, I see 10 Toes in there too. I think I see him. Hey, what's up? He's come to Spin Up a few times, and I want to just kind of wrap up by telling everybody, be safe out there. It's been, at least in this part of the country, it's been kind of rough with all the ice and the power outages and everything. But I think spring's on the way, flying time, all that stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody down at the South Florida drone meetup in late March, early April. And like I said, I'm looking forward to just spending more time being out flying with these community, because everybody here, I mean, we got a great community. These folks are just amazing. The people that support these channels. And I know Russ puts a lot of work into his channel, as do I, as does Chris helping me with this channel. And, everybody out there who has a Fly Zone, you guys do an amazing thing with your channel as well. Everybody out there who's putting the work in, we appreciate you, and we all got to stick together, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great niche, a great group of viewers and creators. So it's I'm proud to be a part of it.
Me too. Well, thanks again. And you know how we like to always go out by telling everybody, whatever you do, don't fly alone. You got plenty of friends around here, so find a friend and go have some fun. So let's say goodnight.
All right. Good night. See you guys.
Oh, no, not again. Chris, FPV is really fun, but sometimes don't you just want to fly a good old camera drone? All right, boot it up, Chris. Time to take off. When I think back on model planes I built in high school, it's a wonder I could fly at all. And while those gas-powered motors never hurt my fingers none, I always wish my planes would never stall. Camera drones, they give us those nice bright colors, give us the dreams of summer, make you think all the world's a sunny day. Oh yeah, I got a flying camera, I love to take a photograph, so mama don't take my camera drone away. If you took all the drones I crashed when I started flying and sent them all back for repair, I know they'd probably figure out that I was lying. It just flew off. I don't know what happened. But a new model's coming out soon, so I don't care. Camera drones, they give us those nice bright colors, give us the dreams of summer, make you think all the world's a sunny day. Oh yeah, I got a flying camera, I love to take a hyperlapse, so mama don't take my camera drone away. drone away. Mama, don't take my camera drone away. Mama, don't take my camera drone. Mama, don't take my camera drone. Mama, don't take my camera drone away. Mama, don't take my camera drone. Leave those rules and regs alone. Mama, don't take my camera drone away. Mama, don't take my camera drone. Woo, woo. Mama, don't take my camera drone away. Mama, don't take my camera drone. Leave those rules and regs alone. Mama, don't take my camera drone away. Okay.
Yeah. But Kelly, I just don't even know if I have time. I don't lip sync. I'm trying to prepare for Drone Brews. Fine. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna try, but there's no drones. It's raining. Fine. I'll listen to the song. Damn it. He's persuasive. I like it. I like it. Hey, trim my drone away. Oh my God, this song's gonna drive me to drink. Oh, take my camera drone away. Don't take my camera drone away. Don't take my camera drone away. Woo!
Oh, Mama, don't take my camera drone away.